The MacVoices update for August 2024. This is MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. This is the August 2024 MacVoices update. We have a few things to talk about, so let's just get right to it. First up, an apology. This month, I had a couple interruptions in the Tuesday night MacVoices live schedule that were just simply unavoidable. And I apologize for, in at least one case, not getting that information out to you a little bit quicker. But sometimes things happen at the last minute, and unfortunately, sometimes Tuesdays seem to be the night that people pick to do things that require my attendance, usually business-oriented. So, as a result, we're not going to move the show, and we did move it one night to make sure, because that one came up on short notice as well. But we're going to stick with Tuesdays, and I'm going to do a better job of getting that information out to you. And soon I hope to have a mechanism to do that. We'll talk about that again as we move forward. Wanted to also mention a new partnership that MacVoices is doing with the Vision Profiles podcast. Marty Gencius and Eric Bolden. And if you are a Vision Pro user, owner, enthusiast, or just really want to get in depth on the Apple Vision Pro, please check out the Vision Profiles podcast. We're doing a segment on MacVoices, sort of like I do with Charlotte Henry with TV Plus Talk, where we're recording a show we're calling Vision Pro Focus. And in contrast to the way that they do their podcast and they talk about news and talk to developers and talk about apps, we are taking a little bit more of a 30,000-foot approach on Vision Pro Focus and talk about just general topics and how the Apple Vision Pro is affecting things. We will be recording our second episode of that soon, so look for that in the MacVoices feeds shortly. The first one is already in the feeds from last month, and I think you will enjoy it, especially if you are curious about the Apple Vision Pro. If you are a Patreon or Discord member of MacVoices, you got a sneak peek of something that's coming soon this month, and I teased it last month, fully expecting it to arrive in August. But because of my schedule, the schedule of some others, and some just circumstances. Life happens in summer, I swear. It's probably not going to happen until a little bit deeper into September, but unless there's a major problem or major surprise, it will debut in September. Well, more about that next month, but you'll definitely see something that I think will give you a new and better opportunity to consume MacVoices information, and it will give me some new avenues to provide you with MacVoices information. So stay tuned. With that, I'm going to suggest that you definitely check out the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter. That's where, if I know about it when I publish that Friday nights for Saturday morning release, you will know about it. Also, MacVoices Magazine, where we talk about some of the best tips on the web for Apple tech and some Apple adjacent tech. And that's going to become even more important as we move into announcement season from Apple with new products, the new OSs, and all of that. So definitely check out both of those. Make sure you are subscribed to the Dispatch. Make sure you're following MacVoices Magazine on Flipboard or on the web if that's your choice. And we'll keep on putting out great information and things that make you a more powerful Apple technology user. With that, we're going to wrap with the support report. This month at Platinum, we had Marty J. At Gold, we had Web B, David G, Robert G, and Tim G. At Silver, we had Baz, Cletus H, Craig A, Eric B, Fallen C, Brett C, Bruce E, John E, Barry M, Chuck P, Andrea S, and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we had Max C, Brian F, Craig H, Clinton M, John M, Patrick N, and Prop P. As always, I want to send a very special thank you out to all of the Patreon supporters. You guys are why the lights are able to stay on. As you know, and you've probably noticed in not just MacVoices, but in some other shows, the sponsorships are a bit thin right now. So your support is more important than ever, and I greatly appreciate it. I do want to put a little footnote here that you've probably been reading some articles about some changes that are coming to Patreon. I'm not making any firm decisions on how to handle this yet because there were some indications that some things might be changing, reversed, or at the very least updated as we move into those changes. So if you can stick with me on Patreon, please do. Wait and see what happens. But I don't think it's going to affect you at this point. It definitely, from what I understand, it will not affect those legacy members. So if you're in there now, nothing should change for you, but we will find out. My intent is not to make any changes that aren't forced upon me or forced upon you. So we just don't know at this moment for sure. And I don't want to react until we know exactly what's going on and then have to maybe backtrack. So that's a story on that. Stay tuned. I'll be back with more MacVoices in the month of September and a lot more interesting things, including some new MacVoices briefings and a whole lot more. As always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.